Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Managing the Quality. Now we'll discuss some other tools of total quality management and these slides. Total quality management has certain tool. Each tool has different purpose. So we are going to define these tools. We have three tools. The purpose of these tools is generating the ideas. So checklist, scatter diagram, and cause and effect diagram, which is also known as fishbone diagram, help us to generate the idea. The other tools help us to organize the data, maybe the Pareto chart, flow chart, which is also known as process diagram, and different other tools identify the problem, histogram, and statistical process control chart. So we'll discuss each tool in detail with the example. So this is the check sheet. Check sheet help us to organize the data, sometimes also helps us to generate the idea. So if I see in my y-axis I have the defects, defect A, defect B, defect C. So these are multiple hours, so from working hours, from 1 hour to 8 hour working hour. This check sheet help me to identify what is the frequency of the each defect during 8 working hours. So I can record the data in this way. I find that defect A in first working hour was 3 times, but in second hour was once, in third hour was 0, and this is how at the end of full day I can identify which defect has more frequency, and then I can take actions accordingly to manage the quality of the product, right? The second tool that we have is the scatter diagram. I mean, you have already known it. It's very simplest graphical representation, and if we wanted to check the relationship of the two variables, we draw this scatter diagram. Here I wanted to check the relationship of two variables. What is the impact of absenteeism over the productivity? So it is showing me negative, which is saying if my employees are going to remain more and more absent, so it is going to reduce the productivity. If my employees are absent for 1 day, so productivity is somehow here. If my employees are absent for 10 days, so productivity is going to be decreased. So this is how I can interpret the relationship of two variables. It has the negative relationship. If one is going to be decreased, the productivity is going to be decreased to negative relationship. Then I would see the other tool that we have, the cause and effect diagram, which is also known as fishbone diagram. These are the effects and the causes. This is like a fishbone, that's we call it fishbone. Effect means a problem. We wanted to find out what is the causes of this problem. So causes can be identified from four main areas, maybe material, maybe method, maybe manpower, maybe machinery. So let's see the example and we can understand this concept. So here the problem is the player who are playing the throw game, they are missed free throw. They are going to miss the ball. So this is the problem. Players are going to missed free throw. I wanted to check what are the causes of this problem. Where is the issue? What is the root cause? Maybe material is not good, maybe method, shooting process is not good, maybe manpower, there is an issue with the manpower, maybe machine, hoop and backboard is not good. So I'll see in detail. So if you talk about material, so this is the prime reason and this is the sub reasons. Maybe size of the ball is the issue, maybe air pressure, maybe grip is somehow the issue with the material. We cannot grip the material. In the method process, maybe aiming point, bend knees, balance is not okay, maybe hand position, maybe follow through is not okay, the method shooting process is not okay, that's why it is creating the issue. I wanted to check manpower, the shooter, maybe shooter concentration is not proper, maybe motivation is not okay, maybe training issue, maybe conditioning, maybe consistency. These all may be the issue with the shooter. And machine, we also check the reason, maybe the rim size, maybe the rim light, maybe the backbone stability, rim alignment, maybe the other issues can be. So here there could be multiple reasons of this problem. So this fishbone diagram helps us to identify what are the causes of the problems, right? So we'll discuss the other tool which is the Pareto chart. Pareto chart is a graph to identify and plot problems or defects in descending order of the frequency. You know the descending order. This is the ascending order start from here, descending order start from here. So this is how. So this is the defect A, B, C, D, E, and we have plotted by the histogram, and this is the percentage. Pareto chart believes that 80-20 rule. It states that our 80% of the problems are because of the 20% of the reason. If we root out only one cause, so we can solve our 80% of the problems. So we see, look at the example, let's see. So here is the problem. Here is the example of one of the hotel industry. Causes in percentage of the total, we have the cumulative percentage. The data is of the October, and we have the frequency in numbers. So we have multiple complaints of the hotels, we would see. So hotel has multiple complaints. So room service 54 complaints, check-in 12 complaints, pool hours 4 complaints, mini bar 3 complaints, and the miscellaneous 2 complaints. And we've given the sort of percentage to each. This is the cumulative percentage. Now as per the Pareto chart, we have made the categories of the complaints. Now we want to identify, as the Pareto says, that our 80% of the problems, our 80% of the complaints are because of the 20% of the causes. So we see this is the number of occurrence. The 12 is the occurrence frequency check-in problem. This is the percentage. Now you see this is the 72% here. This is the percentage. So 72% of the problems are the room services, then 16% the check-in, the pool hours, and the mini bar, and the miscellaneous. So with the Pareto chart interpretation, I can say that my 72% of the complaints are coming from the room service. If I resolve this room service problem complaint of all the people, so I can reduce my 72% of the complaints. So this chart gives me the interpretation of the data in a more graphical view. This is how we can improve our quality. So we'll discuss the other tool. This is the flow chart process diagram, a chart that describes the steps in the process. Sometimes our activity has the process. After activity has the process maybe we'll discuss in the example. This is the MRI flow chart. You know the MRI is done in the hospitals, that is we do. So we are going to describe. So number one step is of the MRI. Physician schedule the MRI, then patient is taken to the MRI. The 3-step patient signs in, patient is prepaid, then patient technician carries out MRI, then the technician inspect the film, and 7-step is the if unsatisfactory, then we repeat the process. Then 8, patient taken back to room, and number 9, MRI lead by radiologists. Then 10 is the MRI report transferred to the physician, and the 11th step is the patient and physician discussion. These all have certain process, and we wanted to check it what is their process. So let me check. Till now, the 6 steps still we follow. First is schedule, then patient is taken to MRI, then that the third step here we have the patient sign in, patient is prepaid for, then the technician carried out the MRI, then technician inspect the film. If it is unsatisfactory, the process would reback. This is the 80% is depending upon this all the process. Then 8%, then patient taken taken back to room, and this is how we can have the 80% depends. 80% this work is depend upon this all these steps. If 7 step is not fulfilling, if the patient blood pressure is very high, maybe if the patient is not ready for the MRI, the process will again go back to the 5. Then technician carry out MRI, the patient again carry out the MRI, then the patient is signed in the process. Then we wanted to identify the process, what is the issue. Then if the 10 in process, if MRI report transferred to the physician, then 8 and 10 can together discuss the patient. So this is how we can analyze the issue. Process chart help us to identify the process, and we also wanted to identify what is the major important process where we can add the value. Let's suppose if we have process to we have certain process of this MRI, same as we have multiple processes. Let's suppose if consumer is coming for the superstore and wanted to buy the products, and there is the superstore is not accepting the sort of your smart cards. You have debit and credit cards. We don't have facility of the debit and credit card. So he goes to the shopping store, shop everything, and waited in the line of the area. Then once he come in front of the check-in system, the person said that we do not accept the credit and debit card. This create an issue. He has to return all his material. So this is also a proper process. We need to identify where we can add value to the process. So this flow charts helps us to identify where we can add the value in the process. The other tool is your SPC, statistical process control. This uses the statistical control chart to tell when to take a corrective action. It drives process improvement. We have 4 key areas: measure the process, when change is indicated, find the assigned cause, eliminate, and I would describe this in the next slide. This is how we have somehow target value. This is the statistical process chart, a chart with the time on the horizontal, and the value in the statistical. We have target value, lower, control limit, and upper. I am going to give the example of this. So this is the example. There is one of the person who missed the throw. We are giving the example of the game where the player has missed the throw. So this is the game numbers. The good thing about this control chart, this gives the historical data as well. This is the game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, this is giving the historical data to interpret the information. This is the coach target. The coach wanted the player to done 20%. This is the target. But player is going to plot the free throw missed. The free throw missed has been done by the player. In one game he was close to up to the certain type of, it's maybe the 29. In second game he was close to the target. So this is how we can interpret where the issue lies. wha- over the different games, how the player has gone up and down. This is giving me historical data. So keeping in view and watching this graphical representation, I can take corrective actions that I can see that upper control limit is more than the lower control limit. So I can check and I can control the upper control limit of my player. So this is giving me a sort of indication to control the quality. The other tool that we have, the histogram, it's the simple distribution showing the frequency of occurrence. We can have multiple problems, frequency of any, we have this repair time and we have the frequency, and we wanted to know the what is the frequency of the repair time. So we have distributed the data and we wanted to check the frequency if the defect A, B, C is happening more, so we can control it. So till now we cover all the tools, and the remaining part of the chapter would be discussed in your next clip. Thank you so much for watching this clip. If you have any questions, so you can write me.